Hello everyone and welcome to the West Ham Transfer Rumours Show. Or while I'm taking a look at the players being linked to in the last 24 hours, perhaps I should be saying bienvenue au rumeur de transfer de West Ham. There you have it. But I want to do that for two reasons. A, because of all the players being linked to predominantly playing the French division, and secondly, I want to do something a bit more questionable and awkward than West Ham's transfer strategy this window. They've set the bar high. I think I'm going a little bit higher. At least one of us have achieved something this window so far. Before we get into it though, a little bit of good news for Gio and other people that have the same opinion as me. Adama Traoré is off to Barcelona. It looked like he was off to Tottenham at one point, but he's not on his way to Barcelona. So that's one rumour target that will not be joining this month. And I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty relieved. Never believed the rumour, but I'm still a bit relieved that we won't be getting Adama Traoré. It also looks like Cabral is going to be joining Fiorentina as well. He was somebody that myself and Gonzo felt could be true. It could have been a punt and someone that might have suited the way that David Moyes likes to play at West Ham. But he's off to Fiorentina to replace Vlahovic. So anyway, enough with all the confirmed transfers. We don't have any of that at West Ham United. Let's talk about the rumoured transfers. And first up, we've got Bamba Dieng. Marseille 21-year-old striker being tipped to join West Ham for approximately £15 million. Can't say I've seen too much of him. I've seen him briefly in the African Nations tournament so far. We'll get onto that in a second. But for his club, I've not really seen too much of him. So I'm not going to tell you what kind of striker he is or anything like that. He's got a handful of goals this season. The third Marseille player being linked to in this transfer window. I'm not going to go into the links between Marseille and West Ham. You already know it. If you don't, go back and watch the last transfer rumour show because I go through it there in a bit more finer detail. But the reason I'm going to dismiss this isn't actually because of the player or anything. It's because he's playing in African nations. He represents Senegal. They're currently, they won in the last 16 games, so they've got a quarter-final game on Sunday evening against Equatorial Guinea. I'm sure it's Equatorial Guinea they're playing on Sunday evening. I just think it doesn't make it impossible. He can still transfer, of course, but I think it just makes it far too difficult to get the deal done, and I just don't ever think it's something that David Moyes would entertain. Bear in mind how particular he is with transfers and stuff. I just don't believe he would go after a player who's currently in Cameroon, and to get medical done, either we've got to send people over there and get it done, let them conduct their let the Senegal national team conduct the medical for us, and we've got to use that and approve it and stuff. Or you can, of course, apply to purchase him pending a medical, and that's allowed, as long as you submit the paperwork by a certain time. The FA give you an extension to your deadline to get the deal done. But bear in mind, Senegal are likely to win that quarter-final, so they'd still be in the competition. I just don't see him moving this window whatsoever. I just don't believe it. I don't believe this transfer rumour is what I'm trying to say. So let's move on to take a look at the next one. Another player I've never heard of until this transfer window. I've heard of him a bit this transfer window, but I can't say I've ever seen him play. If you've tuned in, right? If you've tuned in for real good knowledge on the players being linked to, you're out of luck, really, because the guy after it, I've still not heard of either. But Stephy Mavididi, Montpellier striker / winger / attacking midfielder, can play anywhere in the front three. 8 goals and 3 assists to his name this season for his club. He's English. He was born in Derby. The 23-year-old was actually born in Derby. Came through Arsenal's youth academy before, had a couple of loan spells in lower division football in England before going off to Juventus. So he's homegrown, ticks that David Moyes box that he likes to play, is versatile, ticks that box as well. So in terms of perhaps, like I said, I've not seen him play football, so apart from that part, which is probably the biggest thing, but aside from that, in terms of his player profile, if you like, I think he ticks the David Moyes box a little bit. His age, his experience, he's homegrown, so it helps us for the European campaign as well. He's ticking a tick. But in terms of how he plays, I don't know. And I'm sure there'll be a few people watching these that's seen Dieng and Mavidi more than I have. Please feel free to leave your comments in the comments below. I'll be coming back to take a little look at them. But I've also left a link to every single player in this video. I've left a link to their transfer market player profile in the description as well. So if I butcher their name, or you want to have a little look at the player yourself, just click on it and you can have a little read up as well. It's a really good website. But speaking of good places to go, you can go to the One Football app to get a snapshot into all the statistics around the players I am speaking about, the French League or West Ham United and the transfer rumours. Use the One Football app. The link is in the description below and it's completely free. Get it downloaded to your phone and say, oi, what's your favourite team? And when you say West Ham, you click on the emblem and it takes up all the aggregated news and transfer rumours straight to your phone as well. It really is the perfect way of keeping up to date with everything going on at your club. Not only that, you can keep up to date with competitions, whether it be the African Nations or the Premier League. When you click on the Premier League symbol, it'll give you all the big news around the Premier League headlines at the minute, including Adama Traore leaving Wolves to go to Barcelona, as well as Burnley spending that cash. They're doing all right, aren't they? Going after Weghorst. We've been linked to him in the past as well. He could be on his way to Turf Moor, as well as Orsic, who we played when we played Zagreb. Big signings at Turf Moor. I find myself rooting for them, actually. I really hope they stay up at the expense of Newcastle United. But anyway, One Football app. Keep up to date with everything. Link in description. Right, Ekitike. We've discussed him before, Hugo Ekitike. I've still not seen him play, but I had a little look at his numbers. I like data. I like stats. And I've stumbled across them accidentally, if you like. There's a couple of accounts I follow on Twitter who also like data, and then they often produce these graphs, you know, when they put the medians up and they say, so it might be like passing or conversion rate or something, and you always want to look at the people on the top right of the graph. So you've got the media. I should really learn how to edit videos so I can crop it in here and stuff. But Ekitike's numbers are thoroughly impressive. He's deadly in front of goal, but when you look beyond that at other things like how he presses from the front and stuff, it's ticking a lot of the David Moyes boxes. So while I think the Mavididi player profile ticks Moyes' boxes without having seen him play, I think Ekitike does as well. Now, the one thing people are dismissing this one for is because West Ham have been linked to him for around about €25 million, and Newcastle United rumoured to have a €35 million euro bid rejected. So why would we bid 10 million less? I can't believe I'm going to defend. I'm not defending David Sullivan. I'm not. But what I'm going to say is we don't know the structure of the deal. One thing we do know about Newcastle's bid was it contained a bonus for Newcastle winning the Champions League. So yes, it might total 35 million, but by that token, that Champions League bonus thing, there's obviously a lot of payments there depending on the success of Newcastle. It might have been £15 million cash from Newcastle plus 20 million of add-ons when they achieve things. If West Ham were to offer a straight 25 million cash, I would argue that our deal's better, despite the fact that the overall total is less, because you're guaranteed to get that 25 million. So we don't know the structure of the deals offered to the clubs. I can't believe I'm almost justifying us reportedly bidding 10 million less than Newcastle United. But there you have it. The transfer window does funny things to us all, doesn't it? Term of French at the start of the video. Right, Mohamed Bayo. Another player. I've seen him. I've seen him in the African Nations though, because he's got a really good goal scoring record, to be honest with you, for Clermont. 23 years old, currently was at the African Nations for Guinea. They've been eliminated. Not to be confused with Equatorial Guinea. So he used to represent Guinea. He still does represent Guinea. They've been knocked out of the African Nations Cup though. So we don't have this medical issue that we do with Bamba Dieng. He can move about. He's not stuck in Cameroon at the minute. A goal scorer, that's what we'll say, because I like my betting, and when Guinea were playing their first game of the tournament, someone said, oh, you have a look at Bayo, and I thought, bloody hell, that guy knows where the net is, doesn't he? The game I watched, I can't remember who they were playing, the game I watched, he was crap. He was really bad. He just stood up front. He didn't move. It was almost like he ran out of batteries or something. Needless to say, one lost his bet on backing Bayo to score. But I've been trying to watch the African Nations for these players that were being linked to that I've never heard of, trying to take a bit of an interest in him. But the limited bit I did see of him wasn't thoroughly impressive. But his numbers, his goals, that's impressive. So that's who we're being linked to. The problem with this rumour is that apparently they're sort of willing to sell him to West Ham United, but they want him back on loan for the rest of the season, which, well, that's just not going to happen, is it? We need a striker now. We're not buying a striker for the summer. We need one now. If I get why you'd perhaps want to sign up a wonder kid. Say Cavallo at Fulham. I completely understand if West Ham wanted to buy Cavallo and loan him back to Fulham, or we were to sign, say, Jason Knight at Derby and then loan him back to Derby for the rest of the season. I get it, because they're not necessary at West Ham today. We can get away. We don't need them today. Next season, we're signing them for next season, essentially, and we're just taking up the opportunity to purchase them so no one else does. But with this player, that doesn't really apply. We're only buying a striker today because we need one for the rest of the season. If we need one for next season, we'll address it in the summer when there's more players available, including the rumour #1 target of Jonathan David. So I guess what I'm trying to say in a long-winded way, I don't believe this transfer rumour. Let's move on. Now, today there's been reports suggesting that David Moyes has whittled it down to 2 strikers. Armando Broja of Chelsea on loan at Southampton, and also Bamba Dieng of Blackburn Rovers, who is currently on international duty as well over in South America. Chile take on Brazil. They've got their World Cup qualifiers. All the non-European countries have their World Cup qualifiers at the minute, and San Antonio being away with Jamaica. Chile have got, I'm pretty sure they've got Brazil this evening. So Bamba Dieng is over there to represent Chile, which would throw a bit of a spanner in the works because that international duty runs past the transfer deadline day window. So it provides the same sort of hassle, if you like, as getting the medical done as it does with Bamba Dieng. For some reason, I'm not sure why, I just feel like maybe the World Cup qualifiers is probably slightly easier to get a medical done rather than an international tournament. But he's out there. As for the rumours, it's hard to believe it. I don't think Blackburn will sell him. I don't think Blackburn should sell him. He's been tipped at around about 25 million, which is obviously a lot for somebody who's only played striker for 6 months in the Championship. But given that they've got a chance of getting promoted, Blackburn, they won without him the other night as well. Given that they've got a real good chance of getting promoted to the Premier League, I think it'd be suicidal for Blackburn to sell him. Actually, I think they'd be better off keeping him, because if they get promoted, happy days. They're in the Premier League is worth a lot more to them financially than it is selling the player. But if they don't get promoted, they can sell him in the summer and they'd probably still get 25 million for him as well, providing he keeps up a decent bit of form. He doesn't even have to replicate the form, because the form he's in at the minute is just ridiculous. But if he was just to do 80% of the form for the second half of the season for Blackburn, they miss out on promotion, they'd probably still get 25 million. So I don't see Blackburn selling him during the January transfer window. Just doesn't make sense at all. Now, one player that's left West Ham United is Mipo Odubeko. He's joined Doncaster Rovers on loan for the remainder of the season. Bottom of League One, I think, Doncaster Rovers. So I don't know really. He's somebody that I was excited for when we signed him from Man United, because remember, when we got him from Man U, we essentially pinched him. You know, Man United offered him a new contract, but he didn't sign it. He decided to leave because he wanted an easier route into first team football. He was looking at his options at Man U, believed he wouldn't get game time at Man U, so he'd come to West Ham. Not had it here either yet, but his loan to Huddersfield in the first half of the season was an absolute disaster. So I'm hoping that this one is a much better one for him, and that he grasps the opportunity. If there's somebody away from West Ham with a real big 6 months, there's 2 of them actually. There's Mipo Odubeko, then there's Connor Coventry, who's gone to MK Dons on loan as well. Them 2 really need to show their worth to David Moyes and West Ham, because they're of the age now where they need to be playing football really. So if they're not going to make it at West Ham, perhaps in the summer we need to be letting them go. So we'll see how Mipo gets on, but I hope he makes it. Like I said, I pray he does. He's somebody, I was buzzing when we joined him. Would have liked to have seen him get more opportunities, and he's one of those players I used to get frustrated at Moyes for not using. And what do you know? I got it wrong. Turns out Moyes has been justified so far, but hopefully he goes to Doncaster and has a really good end to the season and gets some goals and games under his belt. Issa Diop is continuing to be linked to Newcastle United. Not really going to discuss it, don't believe it, but you never know. I guess Newcastle are desperate for a centre-back anyway. They're bidding for about 10 different people. Couldn't get Sven Botman out of Lille. Just by the sounds of it, they're struggling with Diego Carlos out of Sevilla. We're bidding for Dan Burn of Brighton as well. And Issa Diop, someone that's apparently on the radar. I'm not against selling him, even in the January transfer window, providing that we had somebody lined up to come in immediately. I'd be okay with that. I don't mind changing the centre-back as long as we're not one centre-back less when the January transfer window closes. But anyway, I'm going to shut up now and disappear. That's your West Ham transfer rumours. Monday night, we've got videos in the meantime, like, but Monday night we'll be live between 9 and 11 PM. Got some special guests lined up for a 2-hour live show, so make sure you come along and join us. We'll be keeping you up to date with all the latest rumours and deals as they go in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, yesterday I put up a video. I interviewed Carl Fletcher about his time at West Ham. It'll be on your screen in just a minute. If you haven't watched it, please go check it out. They don't get as many views, but they take me a lot longer to do, and Carl is genuinely a really, really nice person. Out of all the people we've spoken to on the channel, he's up there as being one of the loveliest people we've ever met, actually. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Catch you.